So come on in, take a sip, let's wind down. It's Sunday, and it has been such a peaceful day here. I gave you a quick overview from the balcony just a few minutes before we had dinner. Just lovely, kind of a partly cloudy day, probably again in the low 80s, so very strange to have 2 days like that in a row. And I picked up this fantastic wine at the store yesterday. It's called Finca Sobreño. And this is a Crianza 2020. It's a 2020 Tempranillo. On the nose, it's just a splash of that vibrant Spanish sun, right? The cassis, the berries that come shining through there. A bit of a lovely, somewhat metallic minerality to it. Got some vanilla coming through. It's just really, really pleasant on the nose. On the palate, slightly tannic, still soft. A beautiful clean finish. About a 10-year-old wine. Here in Germany. I don't know anywhere else. I wouldn't even begin to know where to price it. I'd say this is on the higher alcohol level, though, from both the smell and the taste. I would say we're probably closer to 15%, to be honest with you. So you're definitely getting more bang for your buck. No question about that. But what a wonderfully, wonderfully joyful wine. This is just fantastic. That yellow jumped out at me. And I love anything with a tilde in the name, right? So when I saw Sobreño, I thought, well, it's just something we're going to have to give it a shot. A beautiful Tempranillo and a fantastic 2022. This has aged well. They have done a good job of keeping this stored beautifully. I mean, it's a 5-year-old wine. I think in wine years, it probably makes it around 37 years old, maybe something like that. I don't know. I don't even know if there are wine years. I just like saying stuff like that. What else, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into our grid and see. And I gotta say, before we get started here, Krishna Pandravada, my friend who went to Carnegie Mellon University, we went on post this morning at Grafenwehr. Some things we wanted to make the King's asparagus soup. It's a German soup. I was going to make it for Schatzi. And we went to get some stuff from the Commissary because Germany closes on Sunday, so it is nice to have that option to go to the U.S. Commissary. And we ran into a bunch of NATO soldiers all the time. Some French, some Belgians were there, some Swedes. We had all kinds of folks in. They were in uniform. I guess they were taking a break from one of their exercises to come in and grab some goodies, some lickies and chewies. And I ran into some soldiers, in particular this one officer. I put this patch up. This is, he was a major in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, and he's here for an extended duty. I think he's been called up or whatnot, maybe for a year or so, to come train with NATO. And a really nice fellow, but I saw that he was wearing a red patch, so it's kind of a ceremonial thing that you wear in a uniform versus the OD or the gray or the green or the black. You know, it was just bright red, and I guess it was a unit type of day. And there I saw the Keystone State patch, and I remember when I was dubbed into and made Distinguished Knight in the Order of St. George. It was by a colonel, brigade commander, who happened to be an armor and cavalry officer, which is what I needed to find in order to dub this young captain into the order. And we found him at Al-Taji on my third deployment to Iraq, and I got down on one knee, and he took my commissioning saber, and he tapped my shoulders and brought me into the Order of St. George, and he too was wearing that Keystone State patch. And I asked the major where he's from, and he told me, he goes, I'm from Pittsburgh. And I said, well, Krishna is going to think that's pretty cool. So it is what that is. But what a lovely way to start our day. The soup was delicious, and the day is gorgeous. We have making arrangements. So this is a fun title. It's got me a little concerned too because Sam Brody's constructed it, but it's edited by Will Short. So let's see what this is going to mean. We're going to be here for an hour tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Shotzi's saying get ready. I mean, she's got her reading glasses on and everything. She's probably got a novel pulled up on that device, so we'll see. Unlikely flyers in a saying, because I don't know what this warm shade of brown is going to be at 5 letters. It seems like it could be anything. So, but unlikely flyers in a saying could be pigs, i.e. when pigs fly, or as some folks would crassly put it, especially down in the Southwest, like Texas, when donkeys are flying out on my third point of contact or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing. First name in stunts. Now I gotta remember if it's evil or evil. Is it E-V-E-L or E-V-A-L? It's probably not an eval. It's not evil, so I think it's evil. Yeah, I think Brian Regan did a, let's see, obstacle course element. Oh my gosh, who knows? You could have a rope, you could have a hole, you could have a wall. I mean, if it were something to do with obstacle courses in the Guardian Cryptic, it would probably almost always be a parkour. That's what you learn. Warm shade of white. Okay, fantastic. Reminds me of a Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder song from, I think, 83 or 84. I think I was 11 or 12, maybe 13. Legal nicety in all caps. Something tells me this is where the nefariousness takes place today. Okay, legal nicety. No idea. We got a lot of letters there. So, whole lot could be a slew. Okay, so obstacle course. Well, still, we could have a cone or a hole or a rope. Yeah, I don't know. What we got here, is that all you have to tell me? Big Apple Media initials. How about the New York Times? Okay, and so legal nicety. Still have no idea here. Polish language or Polish language? I'm going with the latter. I'm gonna say maybe this is to edit. I can't think of anything else that could possibly be. Polish language? I don't know. Let's just see if this leave will work. Fantasy role-playing game for short. How about D&D? And I remember that hit around the same time that the great satanic panic of the 70s and 80s did. And oh my gosh, everybody, the band KISS was actually, it was an acronym for Knights in Satan's Service. And oh my God, everybody was freaking out. And I think that rock bands just knew how to get under people's skin and sell records, is what I think. The more your mom said you couldn't have an album, the more you were going to get that album, right? So Egyptian fertility goddess, almost a given every time. I'm going to talk about Isis there. Blank so good. Furniture store pun. I don't know. It seems like I might remember that. Did you already done? Hashasi, she's done. She's bored. She's like, I'm out of here. Park known as a permanent World's Fair. Otherwise, could be else. So that tells me this is probably Epcot Center. And it really is one of my favorite places to visit as a child. Maybe Sofa So Good? Sofa So Good? All right. So, take things easy could be to loaf. Leader of the world's smallest country would be the Pope. And ostentatious. How about splashy? Splashy. Splashy, splashy. Camera initials, probably SLR. Muffler material. Looks like it's trying to play into yarn there, which is fun. We got, I guess, eel sauce coming through. So I think we've got genetically something here. And maybe now we have a cone up here, which tells me that this warm shade of brown could be pecan or pecan, depending on where you're from or how you care to pronounce it. Is that all you have to tell me? Are we done? Are we done? Maybe. Magician's cries, ta-das. I think I would probably say et voila if I were doing that, but I am a bit of a francophile and a francophone, so of course I would. Loss of the ability to read. Bridge support, maybe a pylon. Kind of policy that encourages transparency from leadership, maybe an open door. When I was a young company commander, I used to say things like, I have an open door policy. Do not use it. And it was an attempt to get everyone to use their chain of command, right? If you don't get anywhere then come bother me with it, right? Really, it's one of the busiest jobs on the planet is being a company commander. Oh my gosh. Commanding officer, it's work. Ceremony could be pomp, and this is a really good wine. I'm going to drink that whole bottle tonight, I bet. And plus some. Author's assistant, maybe a typist. Do you think that would be something that author would do themselves? Inflation measure. Oh, I don't know. Outside of the GDP. Let's go with PSI. And let's see. Glibness. Well, I guess we could have Alexia here. So, it's pretty clever, actually, if you think about that. Guess. If I had to guess, I'd be maybe taking a stab. I don't know. Rio maker. How about a Kia? I almost just said Kia. It felt, as soon as I saw a Rio, I was like, my dad had one of those. He says, yeah, I've got a Korean car named after a Spanish river. Org enabled by the 16th Amendment. I do believe this would be the IRS, but we need to check it because I don't have my amendments memorized whatsoever. But the first 10, I got the Bill of Rights kind of down, but after that, it's a little... Puzzle maker Rubik would be Erno. Need to get his book. He wrote recently put out a book, and I really want to read it. Regional divisions in Russia. It's been a while. Paradise Lost. So some collared shirts would be polos. Suffers the cost, perhaps pays. Is so inclined, maybe cares to. And smell could be an odor. Germantown, I would think of it more of as a city, but a Stadt for sure. Resist. Fiddler's skill. Chill. I think this is bowing. And I'm getting ready. I'm still looking for a violin. I do want to learn how to play one. Chill. Maybe ice. Rox Okasik would be Rick. Lost him, it seems, in the recent past. That was a real loss. He was a great rock star, Looked the part all the way. Resist. French upper house would be the Senate. We need to probably spell that correctly. Sweden joined it in 2024. That's right. It was NATO. Finland. It was a big deal. Green, often found in mixed greens. How about arugula? I never know I can never remember how to spell that. I never really cared for the leaf, though, measure roughly equivalent to 10,012,000 downs. If this is a BTU, then I think that 12 down is an erg, a unit of energy, work unit. Site with a clothing, shoes, and accessories section. I guess we're looking for eBay. I wouldn't know if that was eBay or Etsy, really, to be honest with you. Surveillance organization. At first gut, we might think CIA, but honestly, I think it's the NSA if we're really talking about surveillance. Runner on runners. Maybe a sled. And okay, so here we go. Fundamental building block of DNA. Adenine? Adenide? I don't know what we're looking for here. Right off the top of my head, I'm thinking amino acids. Just there's some sort of a bias there on that. I don't know. Word after game or floor could be a plan. Fundamental building block. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. These all capped ones here. Rages. This looks like gears. Is this a plural up at 43 down? 2 version marketing experiments. Well, it used to be a ad exec, probably A/B tests, if I had to guess. Let's check real quick. Pepsi as an example could be an example of a cola. Rudely revel in victory, and we get this an awful lot lately. There's a lot of gloating going on, and that's really poor sportsmanship unless you're playing a total jerk. Then it's quite all right. On, maybe atop. Or at it. Wyoming Cheyenne Frontier Days as an example, and I think we're talking about rodeo. A pod or husk botanically. Well, botanically, they house it's a seed housing. Lose progress in a way. Obvious choice. Narrow the gap with competitively. Earth. Okay, so what have we got up here? This is okay. We got a legal nicety, and so we've got 5 and 6 going on. That's 11. And just for grins and giggles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the reason I say is I'm pretty good at spotting anagrams, and legal nicety, if I don't spend too much time looking at it, I think would anagram to genetically. And so now I'm wondering if we're doing something like that. See, glibness. And glibness, because this looks like a mixed blessing, and glibness could be anagrammed into blessing. And if it wasn't for my lousy luck, I would love to play Wheel of Fortune. If I could win, I could just spin it and get 10,000 every time. I would love to play that game. Endures, maybe lasts. And, I've determined that these puzzles are so big that it is just so easy to fat finger something, not catch it, and then you're just hunting and pecking. I noticed that the grid told me that I was on a 6-day streak. Well, of course, because on most Sundays I wound up revealing it so that I can find out where I fat-fingered the error, right? Because I'm too lazy to go through it and actually look for it. OMG, enough. How about TMI? It's too much information. I don't want to know. It may be dropped for effect. It could be maybe dropped metaphorically for effect. Narrow the gap with competitively. Now, this up here looks like change. Change. Maybe changing. I don't know, but that would be an I and a something here. So I'd probably change it. If this says aide de camp, no, I don't think that's going to be a verb. So narrow the gap with. And so here we go. See, there's one I caught right there. Mixed blessing, misblessing. So I guess this could be to gain on. And so an obvious choice could be a no-brainer. And hopefully Shotzi is checking my work behind me. But she can't see that far. She needs to get some opera glasses. She can sit back there and get a little look at them, Take a look. Big Apple Airport Code. Well, that's fantastic. There's only 2 of them, LGA and JFK. So that's no help at all whatsoever. Japanese honorific could be Sun. So now I think we got LaGuardia, LGA, and members of a priestly caste of ancient Persia. A long cold coming of it, and this set down, and this set down. Probably my third favorite poem by T.S. Eliot, The Journey of the Magi. But come on, love song, J. Alfred Prufrock. Yeah, come on, that's the bomb diggity right there. Afternoons and coffee spoons. I'm telling you all the way, right? Lose progress in a way. Maybe to relapse. Boy, that sounds awful. Talk about that, just takes you right back to going to see that one uncle in rehab, right? You know, yeah, I had a relapse. Can I bring anything? Carton of Pall Mall cigarettes, the filterless ones. Okay, got you. Northwestern abode. Now, I don't know. I mean, is this a dorm as in Northwestern, university? Is that where Stephen Colbert lived his freshman year? I think he went to Northwestern. Way out of town. I have to call Steve-O. That's what I call him. When you know Stephen Colbert like I do, it's Steve-O. Him and Bobby De Niro. Bobby, it's Bobby. Way out of town, perhaps. Okay. Afar? A road? Way out of town. I don't think we know. Substance adapted to lab use by Fanny Hess in 1881. And this is just the kind of craft that nerds like me love to know. This is agar and in the development of Petri dishes. And I used to represent, used to do the artwork and the ad work for a major air conditioning company in the United States. Manufacturer, distributor, whole 9 yards. And one time I came up with the idea, we ought to, if you want to really sell these tune-ups on HVAC systems, and I had been a pre-med major for the longest before I switched to Elizabethan poetry, so I can tell you, I said, what if we held Petri dishes under the air ducts, just like we had to do as one of our science experiments, like in freshman, biology. And sure enough, they liked it. And so all of the repair guys that got, the HVAC techs would go around and say, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, we're going to give you a free inspection, and I'm going to put this Petri dish, I'm going to tape it to the bottom of the vent. We're going to leave it there for maybe just 1 day, and we're going to come back, we'll get it, and then we're going to sit it on top of your refrigerator. You just got to leave it alone. We'll tape it, and you're going to leave it alone. And we'll see if anything grows in it. Well, of course stuff grew in it. I mean, if you put a Petri dish in your kitchen and just for, 15 minutes, this stuff's going to grow in it. What a shyster I was, really. It was just an idea. I didn't really think I was going to go with it. Way out of town. So I think we got a road here. We got a road, and now we do have a dorm. That's clever. More than that, it's satisfying knowing that I guessed it correctly. That's what really feels good here. So the M of the MMR vaccine, well, seeing as how we have a hospital administrator and a registered nurse sitting right behind me, I bet we'd both say that would probably be measles before we got to the mumps and the rubella. Maybe MMR stands for measles, mumps, and rubella. Maybe. Earth. So Earth can anagram to heart. You see where this is going? I mean, I'm liking this theme. Change of heart. It just jumped out at me somewhere when I came up to see what was going on with genetically, and then I think it just hit me, I'm like, wait a minute. Legal niceties, 11 letters, so genetically. I wonder if that'll anagram. Example of industry in Proverbs 6:6-9, and that would be an ant. I do believe the British say aunt too, unless they're speaking of their aunt. Non-speaking character in Frozen. Oh, wow. Was it this? Oh, don't tell me this. Oh. I gotta try to remember. It's the non-speaking character in Frozen. It's like Evan or Ivan or I don't remember. Place. Stead. Was it Sven? Vice follower. Versa. Sven. Yes, okay. Got it. I kind of remembered it, but I'm really happy Shotzi's back there. She spends the most time with the little ones, and she gets to see Frozen a lot. I hear it in the background. Legal nicety. Genetically something. Wow, I don't know what that's even about. Aide de camp. Well, usually that's a first lieutenant or a captain that's assigned to a general to make coffee, file papers, and plant their flag. You become a flag officer in the United States military, you get your own flag. You get your Batman belt buckle. I mean, you get a jet, fly around. You have to like drive anywhere. Good stuff. Aide de camp. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with a tent peg because, well, if I can keep from screwing up all of my hard work. Tent peg. Okay. I'm a little punchy. We stayed up way too late last night. We were almost up until 11 o'clock. Can you imagine that? For people that go to sleep usually at 9 o'clock at night, oh, partying hard. Place could be stead. Piece of work. Yeah, we said this earlier. We saw the BTU, so now we knew that was an erg, a unit of work. So genetically engineered. So let's see, is that working for us? Excluding, maybe aside from. This is a really beautifully constructed grid, Sam Brody. I mean, it's a Sunday. You would expect to see all kinds of little inelegance here and there, but no, this is great. Coerced into, maybe pressed into service. Bakery treat would be a Danish. Comfort could be ease. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do not feel in any way whatsoever comfortable. I feel comfortable with the answers that I think I'm typing in, but not with the answers that are actually being typed in. They might be ripe for changing, and I guess we're talking about diapers. And or in England, nappies. Nappies. This is what happens when you do the Guardian Cryptic. You get really into the language. One thing I can tell you, though, my Shotzi and I rarely ever have a Barney over anything. We just love each other too much. And because we've been married for so very long. In case my message isn't landing. Now they're quoting Shotzi in here. I repeat. Okay. Can you tell me one more time, please? I wasn't listening like I should have. Well, what are you going to do from here on out? I'm going to listen better. I'm going to listen a lot better. In that case, if so, early automaker, olds. It's still hard to believe that they took that out of the lineup for GMC. I mean, Oldsmobile seemed strong, I guess. I don't know. Fortune teller could be a seer. It might begin with a false alarm. How about a fire drill? And we have the Cambodian Rial. So, okay. So, fire drill. Those of us quality and safety people like me love fire drills. When I go to inspect the clinic, the first thing I do, I find an empty hallway somewhere and I go into the restroom, the patient restroom, and I pull that cord. And then I wait and see how long it takes. While everybody is cussing me out. I actually do that, yeah. But I don't stand there like a jerk. I just take note. I'll be honest with you, the longest I've ever seen it take is about 24 seconds. I mean, it's usually pretty quick. They don't mess around with that stuff, right? Grow weary could be to tire. Figures in some storied abductions. I think we're talking about extraterrestrials here, maybe. Still think it's funny we don't hear about hardly near as many of those these days since everybody has a high-definition video recording device on them at all times. Rent could be to let. What do we got here? Branching diagram would be a tree. Darn say could be to sow. What you will. The first time I heard that term, I was listening to Eleanor Rigby, something about darning a sock or something. I was like, why are you screaming at the sock? My mother was trying to explain to me. I'm like 7 years old. And it was, darning is to sow. Okay, great. What you will. What you will. Maybe in a state? Got to get ourselves in that whole executrix state of mind. Resist. So we have a sister in resist. So maybe we got twisted sister. I wanna rock, rock. Dun, 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 dun. Small songbird, be a wren. Brand with cup sizes from minis to world's largest. Oh, racist. I was thinking Wonder Bra? I have no idea. Pod or husk botanically? Yes, I guess I'm looking for a seed case. I was guessing at that earlier, Shots. Yeah, so well, it's a seed hull or something. I can't remember what I said. But yeah. Yeah, it's a seed case. Well, I guess by definition it truly is. It's just a place that holds the seed. But faultless. How about an ideal? Consumed could be eaten. Faux gardener, so to speak. Now this is clever. I mean, we got just the right number of letters in that we have 9. I'm gonna go with a scarecrow. This is fun. Let's check it right away though. I don't trust it. Nor do I trust my typing. Adjust, maybe to tweak. Now, I don't know about any of you, but whenever I see tweak, I always have to ask myself, is it 2 E's or an EA? I don't know why that is. I mean, I'm just a terrible speller. Early education option for short, maybe pre-K. Elect could be to opt. I mean, I'm not going to say this is a terribly challenging serpentine Sunday. I'm just saying it's just very cleverly done. And you got to put a lot of thought into each one of these things. Confident bearing could be poise. I mean, nothing is really just jumping out at me like, that's definitely the answer. Except for erg. But that's because it just gave us the BTU down at the bottom, right? So that was really what that boiled down to. Arizona's 3rd largest city, that would be Mesa, where I earned where I earned half of that diploma. There's half of the diploma showing behind my head here. Mesa was a beautiful place, by the way. It was gorgeous weather, beautiful food, people. Give for free. I got a picture with the Pope in Mesa, Arizona. Oh, well, it was a statue of the Pope, but give for free. Maybe to comp. Okay, so what do you think this is? So 14 down, we got an O blank IE. I'm going to go for Opie Cunningham. But it could be Odie from Garfield. I don't know. Let's see. Slobbery cartoon pet. And of course, I'm wrong. So I hope that's not going to portend the end of this puzzle for me. I won't be on a 6-day streak anymore. You sure you want to reveal? Yes, I am positive I want to reveal. I don't want to go back to this and find it. Peddled things could be wares. Fairy tale villain. How about the big bad wolf? Maybe. Royal permit. Royal permit. Well, I guess we don't have everything in there yet, so I can't just jump on it and be all gallant with the anagram. Bit of equipment for a vault. Okay, maybe a pole vault. Clears of snow, maybe plows. Nerve. What the gall. Somewhat. Oh, a tad or a bit. Don't know. What do we got? Hot things, briefly. I can't. If it were T there for a bit, I guess gats as in guns, stolen guns maybe, but I'm thinking maybe fads, like for a tad. Awry could be off, so that works with fads, maybe. Now we gotta line up a tad. So we have a weakness as a flaw. Boy, I have a number of those. Awry off, very nice. Temporarily out of order. Fundamental building block of DNA. God, is that adenine? Adenine? I'm used to just, you know, if it's a fundamental building block of DNA, I'm thinking like amino acids or something, right? You know, but there's several, there's fundamental building block of DNA. There's not just one, right? You know what I mean? I was like, what is this? Let's just get I think it's temporarily because I can get that out of the royal permit. So let's see, temporarily. Okay, it seems to line up okay. Is it adenine? I'm thinking this is adenine. So rages, we got gears from rages. So I don't know. Revealer of the man behind the curtain, and that would be Toto. Toto did that. Center of mass. Church? Carbon copy could be a clone. Okay, well, so far church is looking right. And my adenine looks like it could be that specific guess out of the other 40 that I threw out, but not like I'm trying to say, oh, I was right all along. No, I'm just saying. Desirable formation for ducks would be a row, unlike geese who like to fly in lopsided V's. Cut down could be hewed. Oh, I got money that says I fat fingered something on this one. Adenine. Okay, farewell song, Hawaii. Aloha. I think I spelled that correctly. If I didn't, well, mahalo. Butter substitute. How about olio? There's another one. Is it olio or is it olio like the Italian for oil? I don't know. So maybe these are switched gears. So I don't know. See, that lines up with, I think among the first clusters of guesses here when we had nothing, I think I said adenine or adenine. And I'll have to go replay it to make sure. But all I'm saying is, I feel like that's right. It feels like it's right. It certainly goes back to what little I remember of the C that I barely eked out of biochemistry in my freshman year. To be honest with you, I'm surprised I got that C. It's because I finished the class with a 64 or 69.5, and I just rounded up or something like that. I got very lucky. I mean, you can't transfer D's anywhere, right? So he's ahead of the pack. How about the alpha male? Oh, that's leader of the pack. Okay, so I don't remember. I think these are oblasts. I'd have to go back and read Anna Karenina again. Let's see. Home of Morehouse College would be Atlanta. Accessory in a Jane Fonda workout video. Oh, gosh. Don't forget the little workout Reeboks. You got to go with the leg warmers. I mean, every girl on the planet was wearing leg warmers with their Jordashes and Air Jordans. Reeboks for the girls, I guess. Fling. Maybe toss. We're not going to fit a tryst in there. So we're going to go with a toss. And one may be fawning. We'll go with a doe. Clever. Oft skipped podcast parts. Exactly. I pay for the premium. I'm not going to do it. Army NCO, Staff Sergeant. Except that an Army NCO... Yeah. Okay. That's my foot on my chair. I apologize. I didn't mean to irritate you with that. Popular food, fish, or its genus name may be tilapia. And when we do fish tacos around here, we love tilapia. So I think we've got church here for the center of mass. Layer could be stratum. Wow, boy, this has been a long grid. So trillion, prefix, be a tera as in a terabyte. Sarah Lee. Here comes a moment of truth. But I'm telling you right now, if I fat fingered something, we're just going to reveal it, figure out where it's at and fix it. Conventions could be standards. Number after, Nummer 2 ist Nummer 3. 3. And how do we do Bob? You realize how shocked I am to see this, right? Oh, it was brutal. This was a brutal grid. If you stay to the end of this grid, I'm gonna give you a secret number at the very end of the grid. If you stay with it all the way through, because that'll probably be like a good 45 minutes or something like that. If you do that, you let me know. I'll send you a decal. I'll send you some goodies from the station. That means goodies means a decal, and maybe I'll write you maybe I'll design you your own personalized mini grid to solve. So. This was fantastic. Just going through it real quick. I mean, so this was absolutely beautiful. Genetically engineered, legal nicety. Loved it. Saw the anagram right away. Saw earth, heart. Beautiful. The mixed blessing here in our glibness. This was just fantastic. Twisted Sister made a shot into the grid today. Switched gears, temporarily out of order. This was just a wonderful, wonderful grid. Making arrangements, fantastic. Just a wonderful name for this puzzle. It was out of this world. I mean, really, as a guy who spent weeks designing a grid and just finishing recently, now I'm doing probably the hardest part, which is honestly the cluing. I mean, I'm lucky if I get through 5 clues a night that I think are just somewhat okay before I send them in. I mean, it's just a lot of work. I can tell you right now, this would be my opus dei. This would be my swan song. I mean, if I ever did a Sunday grid, I would be it. There'd be no more. I published an essay in the Atlantic Monthly. In fact, right behind my ear here, in fact, where my finger's pointing right now, that's an uncashed check from the Atlantic for $250. I wanted to keep the check. I didn't want to turn that in. I just kept and framed the check. I published an essay in the Atlantic Monthly. I wasn't going to get rid of that check. And that was the last essay I ever published anywhere. I mean, it was okay. I mean, what else is there to do in life? You publish something in the Atlantic. You're done. Well, guess what? A Sunday grid, that would be it for me, right? I'd be like, I've made my stand. This is the hill I'm going to die on. Fantastic grid, Sam Brody. I mean, again, and you, Sam, deserve fireworks on this one. I mean, wonderfully done. Beautiful grid. Just gorgeous. What an honor. What a pleasure to solve this one. Bring down our bannière d'adieu. And it's time to let you go. So if you stuck around this long, and shoot me a note and say 42. 42. As if you couldn't fast forward. But yeah, shoot me a note with 42, and I'll send you a decal and a maybe an unpublished grid that you can solve. Right? You know, it'd be my pleasure. Just let me know. But if you stuck around for it, I'm 100% with you. Anyway, beautiful grid today. Until we see you tomorrow for the Monday grid and the Monday Guardian Cryptic. One of those is generally going to be easy because it's Monday. One of those is going to be Sisyphean. Herculean. And it's always a pleasure. Ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, Servus, Grüß Gott, ciao, Cin-Cin. Be well out there. Try to be nice to everybody you know, but especially to the strangers, right? Especially to those strangers who are behind you in line. Be well. Cheers.